All right, hello students. So this is going to be a part of our review for tomorrow's Unit 8 South Asia CUA. This particular video is going to go ahead and go over the culture, religion, and also Gandhi, as we talked about in this unit in the past couple of weeks. Okay, so culture, Gandhi, and religion. My slide will work. Okay, so first off, the culture of South Asia. So you might be asking yourself, how diverse or how different is the culture of South Asia? And the answer to that is very similar to what we saw in our Africa unit. Okay, a whole bunch of different ethnic groups and also a whole bunch of different languages. So South Asia is host to a lot of different ethnic groups and languages, and these are just a few of them. So Indo-Aryan, I believe that's the largest ethnic group in South Asia. Iranic, Nuristani, Dravidian, Tibeto-Burmese, et cetera, continuing on. And then for languages, to my knowledge, Hindi is the most spoken language, and I believe that is an Indian language, Hindi. Most Indians speak that language. Then there's Bengali, Nepali, Sanskrit, Punjabi, et cetera. Okay, so lots of different ethnic groups and lots of different languages, and now we're going to go ahead and focus a little bit on the historical aspect of India. So Mohandas Gandhi, also known as Mahatma Gandhi, Mahatma being kind of like the title, which means great soul in Hindi, was an Indian lawyer and activist who directly opposed British colonization of India. Remember the British, that was also in our lesson videos, like a couple of them last week, where the British essentially came and they started like a trading outpost in India, which eventually led to India being essentially colonized or ruled over by the British for a few hundred years. And Gandhi, around the time of the late 1800s to early 1900s, came around as an Indian lawyer and activist who used nonviolent protest against the British ruling over India. And he's considered to be the most influential in actually persuading the British to leave South Asia. Okay, so it wasn't just Gandhi. There was a whole bunch of other different activists throughout the years that were trying to, oppose and protest against the British rule. But Gandhi is considered to be the most famous and definitely considered to be the most effective in terms of what he did. And then it apparently worked out because India ended up getting its independence in 1947. He was born in 1869 and he ended up dying. So about a year after India got its independence, he died in 1948 because he was assassinated by a Hindu extremist. Because remember that Gandhi was very tolerant. So even though he himself was Hindu, he was a practitioner of Hinduism. He was assassinated by Hindu extremists because this person did not like Gandhi's views towards other religions. He was very accepting towards like Muslims, okay? But the person who assassinated him was not super into that, okay? He was just very into Hinduism and nothing else. Okay, so around the time, right up when Gandhi was assassinated, so around the time of like 1947, Britain actually partitioned or split up India into two countries, India and Pakistan. As you can see up on the map, India here in orange, and then the green areas are Pakistan. This little area that says East Pakistan actually eventually became Bangladesh. This created a lot of conflict, okay, not just between the people in those areas, but also between the religious practitioners of Hindus and Muslims around this time period. Okay, so many Hindus were forced to relocate to India, and a lot of Muslims were forced to relocate to Pakistan. Okay, remember that Hinduism is the main religion practiced in India, while Islam was or is the main religion that's practiced in that area of Pakistan. Okay, so this used to be all ruled by the British up until they partitioned it in 1947. And so not every person that lived in this area of Pakistan was Islam or Muslim, and not everyone that was living in India at the time was Hindu. Okay, so there was a whole bunch of people that were basically having to relocate because they wanted to be with their religious groups. And there was a whole lot of conflict along the way, and there was also a lot of deaths and suffering. And that kind of ties into the conflict between Hindus, Muslims, and then honestly, Pakistani people and Indians even today. So lots of conflict between those two countries and those two religious groups. You need to know that. All right, and then finally, kind of diving more into Hinduism, because we did talk about Islam in a previous unit. So more about Hinduism. It's considered the world's oldest religion, and is also the third largest religion in the world by follower count. I believe first is going to be Christianity. I believe second is going to be Islam, although I could be mistaken on that. front. Now, Hinduism actually started in India, and it's also where 94% of Hindus actually live. Okay, remember that Hindus are just followers or practitioners of Hinduism. Hinduism is a polytheistic religion that has a lot of core beliefs, such as Brahman, which is like the ultimate reality or their ultimate God. Okay, it's not just one God, though. Remember, it's a polytheistic or many God religion, but they Hindus believe that Brahman is like the king God, the ultimate reality that they want to strive towards and release themselves from that wheel of death and rebirth. Dharma is another core belief, which is a way of living righteously, living a moral, good life. And then karma, which is probably something that y'all are familiar with. Basically, what you do is what you get, good or bad. So if you do good things will eventually happen to you in the future. If you do bad things, then bad things will happen to you in the future. And then for Hindus, it's more of if you live a good life, you're reincarnated into also a good or even a better life. Whereas if you do bad things in this life, then you'll be reincarnated into a worse life. And then Hindus also have holidays such as Diwali, which is a festival of lights that symbolizes good, triumphing over evil, light over the darkness. And it also honors the Hindu goddess of wealth and fortune, known as Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is going to be up here with a really cool sort of like lotus flowers and just holding them. And then this is going to be like a little shrine that the Hindus make during this festival of Diwali, which is kind of like their Hindus' New Year in India. Okay, so just a quick little recap of culture, religion, and Gandhi specifically in South Asia. We talked about in the past couple of weeks. I hope you all learned something and you retain this information so you can do well on tomorrow's CUA. All right, take care, bye-bye, and good luck.